"Your hands are shaking, Wulliam." Wull shrugged and shifted his grip on the mug. "It's cold." Papa laughed, releasing a stinging breeze of licorice tobacco. "That's no cold. Cold is when your eyeballs scratch when you blink, when it hurts to breathe. You'll be Riverkeep soon. You'll get used to that quick enough." "I'm no Riverkeep yet," said Wull. Never, he thought. Papa secured the knot and sat back on his haunches. "But a week'll no be long passing, my boy," he said. "Time feels long for the young. But don't worry, you'll no be young for long." He grinned and went to get the boat ready, ruffling Wull's hair as he passed. The deep creak of his rubber boots faded into the gloom beyond the lamp. Wull put down the mug and looked at his hands, already thickly scarred with the burns of rope and snow, over the voice of the river, sucking knocks and shifting wood. He felt the needles of sound as the new ice along the banks of the Danék cracked. Ice meant winter and darkness, and for waterfolk, a new kind of danger. Papa saw it as a great enemy, to be feared and defeated, with flames and rods, but it brought Wull respite from the river's black void, its thick scum, and little puddles of treacherous clarity, and the huge, sharp rocks fringed with weed that swirled like a corpse's hair. In the heat of summer, perfumed wildflowers grew along the banks, insects skittered on the leaf-padded surface, and silvery clouds of fish burst through the water, chased by the sewlas, whose wet little heads dotted the surface like stepping stones, their golden summer eyes glowing in the sunlight. But Wull could never think of the river as something living. He had seen what happened on the rocks, the floating bodies, arms raised and mouths howling against the surface, as though restrained by thick glass. It was the Riverkeep's job to push his arms through that barrier, to embrace the dead, to lower his face close to theirs, and taste the bilge stink of their breath before lifting them from the water. Papa did so with a martyr's grace, blind to gangland markings and forgiving of sinners who took their own lives. Wull had watched them since he could remember, propped in a grotesque parody of sleep, as though they were snatching a nap in the back of the little batter. Now he sat with them. Sometimes the bodies were old, and the flesh slid from their shining bones like the skin of a poached fish. Wull did not want this wilderness life. With Papa's help, he had read the ledgers in their entirety, right through the 9th volume in Papa's own careful hand. The ledgers didn't just list dates, they told the stories, detailed bodies' decomposition, and kept the words of the rescued and the reasons for jumping, sweethearts, fear, sicknesses of the mind, and often, so often, coin. At first, Wull had taken this literally, as though they were jumping into a wishing fountain to fish for pennies. Then he had realized, and felt like a foolish child. Every entry was the same. To Papa, this was priceless, a means of creating something that would stand forever as a monument of pride and respectability. To Wull, it was a prison of words, repetitive, rotting words. He reached over and touched the ledger that sat open on the desk. Their last discovery had been just over a week ago, 3,101. A widow, face up, and floating on rot-swollen breasts, her cheek cut with a debtor's mark. But as always, the most recent entry was the next number, 3102, offered with the prayer of the Riverkeep, that the number might never be filled.